My tips and tricks and hacks for training for MARSOC. I get hit up all the time by young men and young Marines. Hey, you got any tips or tricks or hacks training for MARSOC? And I don't want to be the old guy that talks about back in the day, but I'm going to be the old guy that talks back in the day. I tried to join in the late 90s. I joined in 2000, but it took me, you guys know my story. It took me about 2 years to get in. There was no internet. I mean, there was the internet, but you couldn't search tips, tricks for MARSOC. You couldn't search this information. There was nothing. There was a couple books, couple Navy SEAL books. There was a handful out there, but not really much of anything like it is today. We have so much information that it becomes overwhelming for people to figure out, what should I do? How do I do things? And I think it becomes almost a crutch because there's so much information that people would rather just reach out to me and be like, I don't even want to Google it. I don't even want to do the research. I'm just going to ask you. So first of all, if you could ask me, it's a question that could be Googled, well, then do that. Second of all, there's really not any tips or tricks, guys. There's no hack. There's no secret sauce. There's no hack. There's no trick. I don't have any tips. Here's the tip. Here's the tip. You have to get in phenomenal shape. And what happens is, and this is the reason why Josh and I started writing training programs for the military back in 2017, is because we saw, and recruiters were hitting us up and telling us the same thing, we saw a decline in physical readiness in young men. We grew up playing outside. We grew up skipping school and going to the beach and playing football. We were, we fought with sticks. We built forts. And there was no video games. There was like Atari or something like that, but you played it for like 2 seconds going doot, 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 this little ball, going back and forth. And it was like, okay, this is dumb. I'm out. We're going to go outside. Now you've got kids that for 10 years played video games, sat on their ass playing video games for hours on end. Now they're playing Call of Duty and they're playing all these different things. And all of a sudden they turn 18. They want to go do that thing for real. But they don't have the physical stature, the physical capability to make that happen. So if you think that you're just going to show up and try out and make it, oh boy, you're fucking confused. The level of difficulty that those jobs require, you just don't understand. You cannot comprehend how difficult it is just to get in the door and the things that you're going to have to do with your body to get in the door. Now, I'm sure there's still a small populace, and I know them because I've seen them. They're in the Agoge. I've got these young men in the Agoge training for the military, training for selection, training for a lot of different things. So there's a handful of guys that are out there, but there's also a handful of people out, not a handful, there's a large group of individuals, a large group of you that have been sedentary for a very long time. And all of a sudden you've got this, what do they say? Hair up your ass that you're going to go do this thing. And you have not built a foundation to be prepared for it. Do not worry about shooting guns. Do not worry about all the tactics and CQB and all this other fancy bullshit and gear and helmets and all, boots. And this is stuff that the military is going to train you at. There's a certain standard operating procedure. There's certain techniques, tactics that they want to teach you. They want it your way. Every single person that came in that had done things in the past, all they had was bad habits. All they had was things done incorrectly. And God forbid you're the one that shows up and goes, hey, well, we did it this way. Don't do that. Save yourself the stress and the hassle and the pain. You need to show up as a blank slate. The only thing that you need to do is have the capacity to learn, check your ego and your pride, and be more physically fit than everyone around you. You need to train like you are an athlete, like a professional athlete. That's it. You need to be able to do over 20 pull-ups. You need to be able to do over 100 push-ups in one sitting. You need to be able to run 7-minute to sub 7-minute miles consecutively. And if you can't do that, and you can't carry 50 pounds on your back for a long period of time, well, you got some work to do. You want my tips and hacks and tricks and whatever it is to be a special operator? Get in fucking phenomenal shape. That is your mission. Throw your fucking Xbox away. If your friends aren't training, throw your friends away. All right? Stop putting freaking Taco Bell in your mouth. Start eating real food. Train like you're an athlete. Have a mission. If your mission is to get selected, if your mission is to go to Recon and to make it and to pass and not be the 75% of people that wash out, you have one question to ask yourself on everything. Does this get me closer or further away from my goal? Does eating this get me closer to my goal or further away? Does hanging out with this person get me closer to my goal or further away? To be great or get selected is very simple because your choices are now all of a sudden very limited. Does it get me closer or further away? And if you can answer that honestly, there you go. Does going out drinking get me closer or further away? Does playing Xbox get me closer or further away? Does going to the gym get me closer or further away? That's it. That is your decision-making process. And if you look at every single champion, you look at every person that's achieved greatness, that's the system they use. Does this get me closer to a gold medal or further away? That's it, guys. There's your tips, hacks, and tricks for getting into special operations. And if you're one of the people that need training, you're one of the people that's like, hey, I need help. We have a 100% selection rate on the physical side. If you're fucking crazy, well, I can't help you there. But, or if you're not mentally strong because you haven't applied yourself, haven't done hard things, well, that's on you. But for the physical readiness, the training, we are very good at that. So the link's below. If you're interested, hit it up. Talk to me. Talk to my man Kyle. We get you squared away. Other than that, never quit, never surrender, always forward. We'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.